So she was parallel parking in the bigger car. Never seen it before. So listen to this. Bill Keating, he's a representative in the US House of Representatives, and he couldn't contain himself. And after the Senate vote in favor of sending $60 billion, which the US doesn't have, to Ukraine, he jumped on a plane and went to visit Zelensky. And he gave him the news, that it's been approved. And strangely enough, he gave him a plaque with a list of all the people who voted for the money to be sent to Ukraine.
Mm.
And it was almost like a bill, it was almost like, these are the people, you have to be nice to. And I don't know, how much confidence I have in politicians.
Oh, yeah.
In general, doesn't matter which side they're on. I don't really care. They're all the same. But it was almost like dirty politics has come out to play in the sunshine. And these are the names that you've got to have to give a cut to.
Yeah.
It's what they say in the United States as a phrase, saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
So
when it's blatant. Yeah.
But anyway, with all that said and done, according to the US, most of the money will be spent on replenishing dwindling stocks of weapons, which were already sent to Ukraine, and sort of out with the old, in with the new, if you like.
Yeah.
So Ukraine won't see the larger chunk of it. Around 10 billion of this 60 billion is in the form of a forgivable loan. What is a forgivable loan? It's where somebody receives the loan, and if they don't pay it back, nobody asks any questions. It's just, which is possibly where the cuts could be coming from, this 10 billion.
Yeah.
The dividing. And that with the list of names, that will come under the category things to do later. That amount of money, things to do later.
Yeah.
So 47 billion is to go through the Defense Department for the training, equipment, weapons, and logistical aid of the Ukrainian army. Now, although the Ukrainian army have hardly any soldiers, a lot of them have died. So the US Defense Department, I don't think are going to be training that many soldiers. However, it's 47 bill, and it's got to be spent somewhere. So I'm sure that the Defense Department, I'm sure that Milley will be rubbing his hands together. And 13.4 billion dollars will be spent to restock military weapons sent to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right? In other news, of course, the UK is to spend £500 million for arms to Ukraine, just so that Rishi Sunak can be seen on the global stage. He's got to raise his voice. After all, it is election season in the UK also.
Yeah.
So why was this battle so hard, so tough for this aid to go to Ukraine? And there's a guy called Jack Posobiec. He came out with an interesting theory. He said it's to keep the war going until after the elections in the US.
Yeah.
Because if the war ended before the elections, it would be seen as and Russia won. It would be seen as a huge loss for the US. and that would look really, really bad on Biden,
Yeah.
on the current administration, you know. Interestingly, in the Ukraine, the foreign minister, Dmitry Kuleba,
Mm.
although thanking the US for the aid, he said it would make little difference on the battlefront.
Mm.
What is needed is a joint effort from all the allies, or, in other words, NATO troops going in.
Yeah. Boots on the ground.
So, you know, they can get all that money,
Mm.
but they said there's going to be little change. You know, the
Mm.
Russia's still going to win unless we have all our allies
Mm.
in the battlefield together with us side by side.
Yeah.
Basically, it's foreign troops going into Ukraine and NATO troops going into Ukraine,
Yep.
although Ukraine isn't part of NATO, you know, to fight the war of Ukraine. As it is, the Americans are quite happy just to send the money and the arms, because there aren't American soldiers on the front lines getting shot to pieces.
Mm.
You know,
Proxy war. It's a proxy war, yeah.
Lindsey Graham, he
Mm.
was quite explicit about this. He said it's the best money we've ever spent on
Mm.
wars because none of our boots are on the ground. You know, it is our troops that are losing their lives.
Yeah.
But you know, that's a politician for you.
Mm. Well, okay.
Over to you with that one.
Well, I saw the footage of when the bill, was passed on the floor. Okay.
You see the flags?
Yeah. Now the flags made me feel ill enough. What made me feel really sick was the cheering. I mean, whatever way you look at it, and whatever your views of what's going on there, and I mean, none of us want war, and that's the big thing. None of us want war. These politicians who represent people, human beings, were cheering that they'd had to do something to actually do something that kills other people, on both sides. Okay, that was disgusting, to put it bluntly. That is why I dislike the politicians. Okay, they can make mistakes, and I agree with that, and they're only humans sometimes, and even discretions in their own life. Yeah, but that was a willful, knowledgeable thing they did. That was disgusting. And I will say to Americans, if your representative voted for that and cheered, you should be really considering what type of character they are. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
What type of character they are. Now, it's interesting because I saw a list, and the list of the dissenters, the people who didn't vote for it, all Republicans. So evidently the Democrats are the party of peace. Yeah? Okay, people got to vote with their conscience. Maybe there is information we don't know about. Yeah, I just thought that was disgraceful. Okay, do it in silence. It's not nice to have to vote for people to any war, which is in effect what they were voting for. They're voting for a war.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a defense budget, Russian budget, period. It's not a defense budget. It is an aggression budget. It's a war footing. So, well done, guys. You're showing up to me exactly what you guys are all about. And it's not even my country. And yet I have a lot of issues with the UK government as well. A lot of issues. So, and I'll vote there. I'm not saying it's wrong to support Ukraine and what the Ukrainian people are suffering on the ground, but equally so, we all know the reasons and how we got there in Ukraine. And yeah, I'm getting quite emotional about this because it keeps going round and round. It's not stopping. I mean, honestly, if the Ukrainians were going to be winning 2 Christmases ago, they're still there. The Russians are still there. The Russians are winning it, whichever way you look at it. And yeah, I agree with you.
It should have stopped. It should have stopped 18 months ago. I remember us making a podcast about it, and I gave
Yeah.
it another 2 months because, you know, I said
Yeah.
if it's not sorted out by this time, they'll give in.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Ukraine and Zelensky was propped up by foreign countries,
Mm.
putting them in a situation. Because
Well,
once you receive $100 billion from a country,
yeah.
if you decide to stop and give in and put your hands up,
Mm.
that this country is not going to be very happy because it's the winner that takes the spoils.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be it'll be Russia that gets the spoils.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Zelensky was in a situation where he couldn't stop. He
Mm.
couldn't stop. And that's why we are where we are at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. Actually, I saw a meme this week that said Tom Cruise isn't the highest paid actor, it's Zelensky.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see that little guy, he's a clown. I see him running. Yeah. I mean, he does look like a little boy lost, if I'm being honest, but okay. The people of Ukraine voted him in as their leader. They hopefully have a choice at some point to make their decision in the future. Although when I hear of what he has shut down and he's more or less getting rid of the opposition as well, who knows? Yeah, I mean, it is, but like I say, that's the image that's stuck in my mouth. Okay, if you had to pass more money being done for whatever reasons, do not cheer about the fact you're going in to kill people.
Yeah.
That you're going to cause death anywhere. We've got so much of it. We've got it in the Middle East, let alone in Africa. Things still going on in Africa. We've got it in the Middle East. We're all getting sick of it. We all now have access to seeing pictures from both sides of people dying. I mean, I said at the time, when you're watching a Russian tank explode, that's 3 guys in there who may or may not want to be in the situation are, who are not going back to their families. And this is the realities of war. These idiots in Congress, where it was, the House, cheering for that. That's disgusting. That isn't even humane. I hope these people get judged. I really